Hey guys, this is Mrs. Fikes, and today I'm going to show you how to apply color using colored pencil and marker. So I'm going to show you how to do it the right way and how to do it the wrong way. So follow with me. Make sure you have one colored pencil and one marker, and then one regular pencil. First thing we're going to do is use colored pencil. And right here in this top section, I want you to draw 2 squares as best as you can. They don't have to be perfect, but just square shape, okay? So we're going to start with colored pencil. There are 2 ways that you can apply colored pencil when using it in a project or a sketchbook assignment. The first way is the shading way, where you use light values and dark values. And for this, I want you to start out with writing grip, but here's the twist. I want you to take your hand and slide it back to the end of the pencil. I want you to just try it and see if you like it. You might like this position better than overhand grip. So again, take your hand, slide it to the back, and hold it back here for this first technique. Okay, so for coloring, anytime you're coloring, whether it's pencil or marker, you want to pick one direction and stick with it. Now, some people like to color up and down. Some people like to color side to side. I prefer to color at a diagonal, okay? And now, whatever direction you choose, you have to stick with it for the entire shape or the entire area. So here we go. I'm going to start out light pressure, and I'm going at a diagonal because that's what I prefer. And I'm trying to go from one side to the other, just like we kind of learned on the apple. If you get out of the lines, that's okay. But again, try to go from one side to the other. Light pressure. So if you're going to color light in a project, or you're going to color light in a sketchbook, this is how you would start it. And if you don't quite make it to the other side, that's fine. You can touch them up. We're just kind of getting that base layer down. Okay, now wherever I missed, I can kind of fill those in real light. Notice I'm not pressing down hard. I am filling it in lightly. All the way up to that pencil's edge. Okay, so that's step 1, but this is kind of boring. When students just do light and that's all they do, their picture, their artwork looks boring and flat. So if you're gonna color lightly, you need to add some value, like maybe in the corners or on the edges, okay? So for value, remember, you gotta press down a little harder, use harder pressure basically, and maybe you pick a corner to darken. If you were drawing some kind of building or something for a sketch assignment, or maybe a dog or something, you know, you want to give that building or that dog, whatever it is you're coloring, you want to give it some different values. And then blend it out. And then blend it out, you can use little circles to blend it out into the light. Okay, you can also layer it up. You can add another layer of color to darken it. Okay, do another corner. And then switch to like little circles to blend outward and fade it. So this takes that space or that area that you're coloring, it just makes it more interesting to look at. because now we have some different values happening in it. Now, by no means is this perfect. I am coloring pretty fast. You would need to slow down. Again, I have a time limit for YouTube. Okay, so it looks kind of nice. It looks a little more interesting than rather than a flat, boring square. So here we go. The second way to use colored pencil is using hard pressure and going bold. Okay, so to go bold, you definitely need to use hard pressure all the way, and it might take a couple layers. So I can kind of get it started. Again, I still want to stick with one direction, but notice how I'm trying to go from top to bottom without stopping in the middle. And then I can come back and fill them in. You can also outline. So let's say I made a mistake. Okay, let's say I went out of the lines like that. Okay, that happens to all of us. So what you need to do is you can outline that using hard pressure. That's okay. You can cover up a bobble here and there. No harm in that. And then now you can really go for it. And you could just keep building those layers until your shape is smooth. You can also switch to little circles. And that kind of blends everything together. It's kind of like stirring the pot, kind of stirs it and blends it all together. Okay, so here you see the true value of this particular color. So we like that. That adds interest to your artwork. Here's what not to do for colored pencil. Here's what I see a lot of beginners do is they'll start here and they'll go across and then they'll go up a little higher and go across, and they keep doing that. And I have no idea where students learned this. I have no idea. But what you see is you see these lines. We call these feathers, basically. They look like little rows of feathers. And this is not acceptable, okay? The way you get that feathering is if you do that start and stop and do things in rows. So that's why over here, you go from top to bottom or side to side, and you don't stop in the middle, okay? Also what I see, just make a square. I see students go like this, and then they switch directions. And then they switch again, and they switch again. And they just don't, there's no caring or thought put into this. They just want to get through the project and get it over with. And it shows. I mean, let's face it, that shows. So we don't want to do this. None of this. We want to shoot for something like this. Are you gonna do this perfectly the first time you try it? Maybe, maybe not. That's okay, but I want you to try this and move towards this as you go through your projects this year. Marker, and then we'll end it. Okay, so for marker, you can make a little square. If you want to label it marker, you can do that. Again, I'm going pretty quick because of the time limit. Okay, this is how to do marker. Here we go. Again, pick one direction. So for this, I'm going to go from top to bottom, and I'm going to use the side edge of my marker. So I'm going to go from the top to the bottom without stopping. So you plant it, and then you pull down. Okay, and you lift up. For a marker, you want to put one stroke by another. Now you're probably like, well, Miss Fikes, I can still see those stripes. That's okay. I'm going to teach you the secret on how to cover those stripes up. See that, those little streaks in there? There's a secret. And I will teach you. This is the first coat of marker. Marker requires 2 coats. So you got your first coat, okay? And then you can touch up your lines. You can outline if you want to. Okay, so that's first coat. You know, give it a moment, let it dry. Okay, let it dry for a moment, and then you're going to come back second coat. This is the secret to making marker look well. Second coat, stay in the same direction and do the exact same technique. Start at the top, go across, or go to the bottom. Notice I'm going from top to bottom. I'm not stopping in between. Okay, then if you need to outline again, you can do that. And so you still see a little bit of those lines, but it's not as bad, okay? It's covered up a lot more. Okay, here's what not to do with a marker. You don't want to rush it and switch directions. And I see kids do this a lot with their wrists. And then they just... Okay, look at that. This is the kind of work that I sometimes receive. Notice that it's not solid. You see little white spaces. It looks like it's dried out in certain spots. You see the change in direction. You can see the streaks, okay? This would be points off. Any of these in this column over here would be points off. So we're teaching you the professional way of adding color, and this is what we want you to attempt every time on every project that we do. So now you know how to color like a pro. Go ahead and use these techniques on future projects and sketchbook assignments. Thank you guys. See y'all next time.